Democratic U.S. Congressman Steve Cohen of Tennessee has found himself in some hot water over remarks he made about Obama and Palin on the House floor. Let's look at the entirety of what he said yesterday.
It's a bit confusing sometimes to listen to the rhetoric. The Republicans have had the presidency now for nearly 8 years, and they've had the majority in this House for since 1994, I think. And if you watch the Republican convention, you'd think they were the Democrats talking about change and the problems we have in Washington. They're so against Washington, it's a Washington they've created and cultivated. And the corruption that we've seen here has mostly been on that particular side of the aisle. The failure of us having a children's health plan, which this country should have as a cornerstone of its policy, was the fault of the Republican side that was more interested in tobacco interests than the children's interests. And too many times we see the corporate interest of the oil corporations take over the interest of the American society in getting us to be truly energy independent. I submit to you, Mr. Speaker, that the parties have differences, but if you want change, you want the Democratic Party. Barack Obama was a community organizer like Jesus, who our minister prayed about. Pontius Pilate was a governor.
Congressman Cohen, was Jesus a community organizer? I thought he was a carpenter.
Well, he was several things, but he was an agent for change, and he was outside the system. I certainly didn't mean to compare Barack Obama to Jesus as a...
No, Al Sharpton is a community organizer. Jesus was a carpenter. I just think it's well, how do you why do you come up with comparisons like that? I thought the rule was stay away from Jesus, stay away from Hitler. These comparisons never work. I'm not giving you a hard time, but metaphors in that category are generally very dangerous.
They are dangerous, and I shouldn't have done it. The first minute of my speech was accurate, and it was the disingenuousness of the Republicans condemning community activists who brought about most of the change in America. I'd seen a bumper sticker on my email that morning from an activist friend in Memphis. Those things are more for activists and less for congressmen, and I've learned from this particular speech.
Congressman, do you think the phrase community organizer is meant to suggest a kind of inner city, a big city, ethnic, black, if you will, background, and somewhat different or remote from the experiences of the voters they're trying to reach? In other words, are they setting up a caricature here through innuendo? Like, you remember Welfare Mother? Remember how Reagan would talk about the young buck with his, I love the way Reagan used to do, the young buck with his food stamps buying a bottle of gin. That was a fairly innuendo there. Is this another one of these Welfare Mothers, community organizers, code phrases?
I believe it is. I saw Governor Patterson reference that, and I felt it when I saw Governor Giuliani make the comment, and as well as Governor Palin. Community activists, community organizers do a lot of good in helping feed people, helping to take care of health needs, Habitat for Humanity efforts. And if you look at Dr. King and Susan B. Anthony and Sojourner Truth, they've done so much good. That's where change comes from. But I think it is a way to categorize somebody as a liberal, a leftist, an inner city person. And that's wrong. You know, Cesar Chavez helped farmers in California, and there have been efforts to help people in the rural South as well.
Well, there's nothing wrong with Memphis, is there, Congressman? Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you for coming on and explaining the whole thing. Still ahead,
thank you.